Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. In this video, we are going to learn about a new, I don't know whether it is new, ngrok alternative. So if you are familiar with ngrok is a service, let me quickly open ngrok. So ngrok is a service that helps you securely tunnel your local host so that you can share your web application or anything that you run on your local host for the entire world. And we have already seen a video where I showed you how you can build a Streamlit or Jupyter Dash application, and then you can use ngrok on Colab, and then you can use ngrok and then you can share it with the entire world. So I'll link the description. I'll link that video in the description. But in this video, we're going to focus on a different service from ngrok. And then the reason we are doing this is because recently I've been hearing a lot of complaints that ngrok is failing on Google Colab. So while we explore what is the reason, it is always good to have some alternative. So the alternative here in this case is remote.it. So what we are going to do in this video is we are going to build a very simple Streamlit application. Streamlit is a web service that helps you build web application faster. We have a lot of Streamlit videos on the channel, so I'll link that and you should definitely check it out. And the Streamlit web application that we build, we are going to take it and then show it to the entire world. So first we are going to build the Streamlit application on Google Colab, and then we are going to show it to the entire world with the URL that we get from Remote.it. So the first step is, let's quickly go ahead and register for Remote.it. So the pricing, if I want to show you, I'm not anyways associated with Remote.it, so that's something that I wanted to highlight. So they have one free plan, it's for personal use. Please keep that in mind that if you are a hobbyist, if you are using it for college assignment, then it is good. But if you want to use it for commercial purpose, try to take their commercial license. So first sign up for Remote.it. Once you sign up for Remote.it, you would get a dashboard like this, and the dashboard would actually tell you to add a device, and it would have a bunch of other things. So the first step is register for Remote.it. After you register, you have to do authentication on your email. After you do that, this is what you would get, and then you would also get a documentation on how to install Remote.it on your client. Let me reduce the size a little bit. Okay, so now coming back to our Google Colab. So this is the initial step to install Remote.it on our client. So this is something that you can get from the documentation itself, but I'll link that Google Colab notebook so that you can get started easily. Before we go on with that, so this is the Streamlit application we are going to build. Let me quickly show you the Streamlit application. It's a very small application where we're going to show some chart with some random numbers. So it's a very simple application. The objective here is to show when you build a Streamlit application on Google Colab, instead of taking much time to deploy it on different services. Of course, Streamlit sharing is one service that Streamlit itself offers. If you have your code available on GitHub on a public repository, you can share it with the world, but this is an alternative for that. First step is we install everything that we want from Remote.it. So this is all Remote.it's setup. So that is currently getting installed. You can see Remote.it setup. So after it gets installed, we are going to configure it. So at this point, you can see there is nothing here. So now we need to add a device. So yesterday I added this device, but now we have to add the device again. To add a device, we have to just say connected installer. So let's say connected installer. Once we do connected installer, it's going to now ask us a bunch of questions. So it's asking, do you want to sign into the remote environment? Yes, say yes. And then it's going to ask you for a username. onelittlecoder gmail.com, and then add your password. Once you add your password, it is going to authenticate you. After it authenticates you, it's going to ask you a few more questions about what you want to do. Let's see. Okay, the UID is allocated. So enter the name of the device. So yesterday I called this device Colab, so I'll call the same name, even though my machine that I've got on the back end is a different machine, but still I'll do. So now it's trying to register Colab. Even at this point, you can see nothing is available. So after it successfully registers Colab, we would see Colab on the dashboard, on the Remote.it dashboard. So you can probably see Colab at this point while it is loading. So what is it asking? It's asking, so we have got a machine which is the Ubuntu machine, this Colab, and we have got a hardware ID, and now the next step is we need to attach Remote.it to an application. So the way we need to do, so for that we have to select one. So if you want to remove it from an application 3, that is if you want to exit or stop the tunneling, but in this case we want to attach it. So let's say attach remoted. So when you want to attach, it's going to ask you another set of questions. The questions are, so whether you want an SSH a connection, or you want a normal HTTP, or if you want an HTTPS, and then you have a few more options. So currently I'm not doing HTTPS or SSH, but depending upon where you are actually publishing your Streamlit, or where you are running your Streamlit on your local server, you can change it. But right now I am going to publish it on SSH. I'm going to publish it on web HTTP port 80. Default port is 80, so I'm going to go with that. So it's saying the default port for web HTTP is 80. So it's asking you, are you fine with the default port itself, or do you want to change the port yourself? So if you don't want to go with it, you can say no, but I'm going to go with the default. So yes. So now it is saying that default port 80 is done, web protocol HTTP is done. So now it is trying to attach. So once it does that, then the next step is we need to install Streamlit on this Colab environment, which is a simply pip install Streamlit, and then we load our Streamlit application and then we run it. There is one small configuration that I would probably show you. So it's enter the name for, okay, it's asking me to enter the name Colab. So I'm actually adding it, so you can see that the new device Colab is there. So it is attaching this with Colab. So which means that localhost port 80. So yeah, localhost port 80 is attached with Streamlit. I think it's asking again, so we can exit it at this point. And yes, I sure want to exit. Yes, I want to exit. Okay, now pip install Streamlit. Once you install Streamlit, then we have to run the application. So while I'm running the application, so Streamlit, the way usually you run Streamlit is you create a file, .py file, which is a Streamlit Python code, and then you run it using a CLI command, which is Streamlit run, and then the file name. But in this case, because we are on Google Colab environment, what we want to do is we want to write the file somewhere. So while you are doing this, we are going to use the magic command and say whatever is content of this cell, you write it on app.py. So basically we are taking the cell and then writing it as a Python file, which is called app.py. So overwriting on app.py, because I've already got app.py, and this application is not the subject of this video, so I'm going to skip it. But basically we have a bunch of charts. After we overwrite, usually what we do to run a Streamlit application is, let me quickly show you, is Streamlit run and then the app name. So when you do that, by default Streamlit runs on a certain port, certain IP, all those things, and also it runs, so you cannot basically stop it. So if you want Streamlit to run on the background, you need to add this configuration. You need to say dev null. So you need to add this configuration for Streamlit to run in the background, and you need to define the port name. So because we are tunneling a local host 80 port, you could see here 80. So I would like for Streamlit to run on 80. Otherwise, usually I think Streamlit runs on 8501 or some other port. But you can actually change that. You can say, okay, Streamlit config, and then you can see the config, and then you can change the Streamlit configuration. Config show, sorry. You can see the Streamlit configuration, like where is it, what is the default port. Let me show you the default port. It is still loading. So it would show the default port, which is in this case is, yeah, server port is 8501 and server address is localhost. So it gives you the details, so you can either go to the configuration file and change it if you always want to change it, if you always want it to be in a particular port. But otherwise you don't have to mind about it if it is like one time deployment or serving. So now I'm going to run Streamlit app.py on this particular port and running it on the background. So right now Streamlit is running. So what we can do is we can go here, we can say connect. Okay, says no devices connected. Okay, so probably while it is running, let me go back and then repeat this process once again. To avoid confusion, I'm going to run it at the bottom of the cell. Connected installer. So currently it says there is no connection attached to this. External IP, you can copy the external IP, paste it, and then see. Okay, so while it is running, let's see. So sign into your remote. Okay, and the name of the account, the password. Okay, so it says currently you already have one session running and there is an application. So let's go to our service and see if it shows. Let's refresh. It says there is an application running on this port, which should work fine. But while we are doing this, maybe we can do it again. Let's quickly see what the external column shows. External column shows there is nothing. It took a long time to respond. That's what it says. So let me add it. So attach. Okay, 1 2, yes, you should exercise care that you don't. You sure? No. Okay, let's go ahead and then see the IP again. Looks like the Streamlit is not running properly. Let me quickly go and see. I stop that. In fact, for that matter, let me say connect to Collab. Connecting, and we got the URL. And copy the URL and paste it. And then ideally it should show the Streamlit application. The Streamlit application is loading. So remember one thing, this is not your dedicated server, this is a free service, so it would have its complications and it would have the downside of using a free service. But again, oh sorry, I didn't install np. Okay, I have to install. The reason it didn't run is the Streamlit application, at least, is because I'm using NumPy and I didn't install NumPy. So let me install NumPy. It says requirement is already satisfied, and where is our code? Okay, because I didn't load NumPy here. That's bad. Import NumPy as np. Okay, let's run it. The file has been overwritten. Now let's run Streamlit again. I have a lot of text, so probably I should remove it. Once we run it, Streamlit, let's refresh this. Please wait. Let's see if it has overwritten the file. Otherwise, we might have to stop the service and start it again. Yes, it's loading. yeah, then so we got the graph. So basically this is a Streamlit application. So if you are making any change to the Streamlit application, quite simple. So go to your Streamlit application. Let me basically delete this cell. So this cell is slightly annoying. I can probably clear the outputs of all the cells. That should make it slightly decent. Yeah, so if I want to make any change to my Streamlit application, so let's say I'm going to add a title. So I'm going to say st title, and that title is welcome to One Little Coder YouTube. Okay, run it. Now the file is overwritten. Now run it again, the app. Once the app is running, now go back to the URL that you are serving. So probably this is one great advantage over ngrok. Ngrok, your URL might change every time you run it, but because here you are connecting here using the web service, the web interface dashboard, so that gets connected. So you can see that the title is available now, the chart is there. So every time you want to make a change back and forth, you can check it. You can now copy this URL, paste it, and share it with anyone you would like to. So for example, it could be a university assignment, or it could be your hobby project. So instead of spending more time on deployment, if you want to showcase this project to the external world only for a temporary basis, please remember that this is not a full-fledged deployment, but if that is a requirement, that is a need, you can definitely use this. And this option is really a very handy option. And again, thanks to Remoted for giving us the service. I would definitely link this Google Colab notebook and also the other videos that I was talking about in the description. Please check it out. So what we have done in this video so far is we registered for a service called Remoted, which is an ngrok alternative, and we installed the Remoted client side software. And after we installed the Remoted, then we installed Streamlit. Streamlit is used here for building our web application, which is what we are going to deploy it using Colab. So why do we want a Colab backend? Very simple. So Colab is available on any browser. You don't need a text editor. Also, Colab gives you a runtime of TPU and GPU, which is again awesome, for free. After you do that, then create a Streamlit application, then run the Streamlit application on the port that you have defined for tunneling using connected installer, the configuration. Now your web application is available for the external world for them to use. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I'm sorry that it took a little bit of time for me to debug while I'm doing this, but I don't want to cut this out because you need to actually see what is going wrong so that you can also learn from that. That's my philosophy when I put out these videos. So if you have any comments, please let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, please give a thumbs up and subscribe, and share your thoughts with me. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Take care.